Hey y'all, FoxxC here again with another episode of FoxxTales. So I've been into science fiction since I was of single-digit age, and one of my goals with this channel has been to discuss how technology and our narratives around it impact the world and the stories we tell about technology and the world and all of that, right? So it's about time I address machine learning algorithms, chatbots, and generative large language models when it comes to writing. This is not going to be a video about the ethics of training large language models, because that process is absolutely theft. But as an independent writer, publisher, and filmmaker, I've been keeping an eye on the developments of these tools to understand how they might impact my artistic endeavors. These are some of my early conclusions. Can AI make me a better storyteller? The short answer to the question, can generative algorithms make me a better storyteller, is no. Can they make you a more efficient storyteller? Maybe, but it greatly depends on the use case. All right. Generative large language models are essentially enormous word randomizers. There's a great article in The Guardian explaining how they work in depth, which I'll link below, but the gist of it is that these algorithms select words and phrases based on the relative probability of accuracy in relation to the data set that it's been trained on and the words that it's used previously in the piece. These programs aren't using deductive or associative reasoning. They don't know that they're making choices, nor do they know why they're making the choices that they do, which are the critical elements of the craft of creative storytelling, why we make the choices we make and how we make the choices we make. And that we're making choices in these stories to elicit a response from our audience. Cool. Okay. Our current generation of generative algorithms is very good at imitating things. So asking them to generate, say, a rough outline of a Harlequin romance or Hallmark Christmas movie or Lifetime thriller is a reasonably realistic use case. But turning their output into a usable manuscript or screenplay still requires the knowledge of how to tell a good story. Choose a point of view, develop characters, build and diffuse tension in a scene, write engaging prose, write good dialogue, and establish an authorial voice. Theme. Writing theme into your story. This also seems to be how the film industry views the impact of the current technology. The recent agreement between the Writers Guild of America and the Association of Motion Picture and Television Producers includes provisions around how algorithmically generated content may be used in the writing of a screenplay, and how that will affect, importantly, credits and remunerations. They've essentially agreed that a studio can send a writer a generated outline, and the writer will still maintain the writing credit and pay for that stage of the project, what's called story credit. And first draft. It's a lot of money. What that suggests is that even the studios don't see expert storytellers being replaced by the technology anytime soon, and have identified that its primary use cases are in the fields of rapid outlining and script analysis. If we're being honest, writers have been using machine learning algorithms for a long time to make their work more efficient. Spelling and grammar checkers, and now apps like Grammarly, make the editing process smoother by referencing an algorithm that analyzes your work, makes suggestions, and points out typographical errors, whatever else, right? Grammar errors. I use a program called SmartScript to help do casting breakdowns of screenplays. It analyzes a PDF of a screenplay and generates a list of characters. I still have to read the script and go over that list to ensure it's accurate, and no characters have been left out. I have to merge duplicates, I have to select the age, gender, and type of role for each character, and then correct and flesh out the descriptions of the characters so that they sound appealing to an actor. It's nothing worse than getting a script and the character, and their only character description the writer gives you is pregnant. Like, okay, that is not a person, that is a mannequin. The program is exceedingly mediocre at this process, and that is amplified by any mistakes in the screenplay itself. doesn't pick up non-speaking characters very well, and if a character's name is misspelled in dialogue one time, it generates a new character entry with the misspelled name, among other things. What it does do is save me a bunch of time setting up the list of characters and putting them into a format and doing all that. I just have to fill in the boxes. It's good. That's great. Once I'm done with it, in the generation of standard casting notices, right? Like you can take what I wrote and just generate each character's casting notice with all the relevant information, and it'll plug it into a spreadsheet. Great. Saves us from doing annoying, crappy work. Right, so these algorithms are really good tools, and I use them at various stages of the writing, editing, publishing process. But I turn Grammarly off when I'm working on fiction because I find it an enormous distraction that constantly gives me unwanted suggestions. I know how to control pace and tone in pursuit of the emotion I want in a scene, which is enabled by command over the interplay of word choice, sentence length, and detail that only comes through exposure to good writing and experimenting with the craft. At the end of the day, developing the craft of storytelling is the only way to become a better storyteller. The only way to do that is the same as it's ever been. Consume a lot of stories and tell your own stories as often as possible. Learn to understand what makes them tick and how people respond emotionally to the stories. Tools like generative algorithms might make some aspects of the process faster or more efficient, provide statistical insights into your writing tendencies, or give you a new sandbox to play in, but they're not going to give you a deep understanding of the craft of storytelling that is required to create a masterful, immersive narrative for your audience. Controversial. Anyhow, thank you for listening to my, before I get to the ending, yes, I have actually done a little bit of experimenting with LLMs, mostly in the context of writing ad copy, which is where they're saying this should be best. It sucks at that too. It's faster, more accurate for me to do it myself. Anyhow, those are all of my thoughts on the current effect of large language models on creative storytellers. I'm sure that you folks have all sorts of opinions about this issue, and I'd like to hear about them in the comments. If you like this video and want to see more from me, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. You can check out some of my published writings and the anthologies I published through Anomalous Transmissions Media, which are all available on Amazon, links below. I also published a free monthly newsletter that includes project updates, writing tips, and my thoughts on the media that I've been consuming that month. If you do sign up, just check your spam folder and make sure that the emails are delivered to your inbox. If you'd like to support my work directly, you might want to consider leaving a tip for me at www.ko-fi.com/FoxxTales or becoming a patron at www.patreon.com/FoxxTales, like these lovely folks. Patrons get access to early drafts of upcoming stories and unpublished screenplays, along with the joys of supporting an independent trans creative and some other available perks, like assistance with your writing. As always, links are in the description. Follow me on socials, like, subscribe, etc. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.